people will still be kind of eating stuff. Miss Lorraine, you're gonna see me, and only if this makes sense. She's gonna come back in and I'm gonna read.
Doc, come quick. It's Miss Sally. She's on the floor. No, she's Miss Lily. Why do I miss Kitty?
You're Miss
Kitty, she's on the floor.
Miss Lorraine, would you place a little
I
bit?
have to put Kitty across my
I'm
face.
going with you. I run out here.
Yeah.
You're gonna do nobody. I go out there. Come back in. March back in. Stop Miss Lorraine. Miss Lorraine. Miss Lorraine. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? I am pained to have to inform you, Miss Kitty Russell has gone to that great saloon in the sky. Festus, I guess this is seems to me she was poisoned. What should we do now? Oh, are you sure? But maybe she just fainted. Oh Lord, I knew this day would come, but
Should I go out?
I guess. I mean, you can't make her angry anymore, can you? Go ahead, do your thing. I need to think.
Festus, it must have been one of her birthday presents. Nobody else has died, have they? Or gotten sick? Oh. So it must have been anything we all ate or drank.
Which one of these things do you think was poison?
It must have been one of the drinks or maybe the sweets. It couldn't have been the flour, could it?
Sure it could. Did you see her prick her finger on the thorn? What if that rose had been dipped in something deadly? Do you think? It's possible.
Doc Adams is here somewhere.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that was me talking to myself. Sure it could, prick finger, rose had been did something deadly. Do you think? It's possible.
Well, who would want to kill her? Who benefits from her death?
I don't know. Lots of people, I guess. Like Doc here. Ah! Wasn't she threatening you to run her out of town if you ever caught you drinking or gambling again? Let me smell that there coffee cup. Oh, hey, it's not mine. I was just holding it for that lovely lady over there. Right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Besides, Miss Kitty was like a mother to me. She sent me to school, rescued me from my recent indiscretions. I owe her everything.
And do you expect to inherit?
How would I know?
Well, Doc, that's because you keep trying to see what's in her will. I'll bet you even sweet talk my secretary into letting you see what's in there.
You, sir, who are you?
Oh, well then, I am Angus Farley, Esquire. I lost my place.
Oh, no.
Hey, that happens.
Okay, where am I? Top of, sorry, let's see.
Oh, wait,
17.
I am or was Miss Russell's attorney.
I am or was Miss Russell's attorney.
So you know what's in her will.
Well, you see Miss Kitty. She was a very devious woman. Every year or so, she'd have me draw up 2 or 3 wills. She'd sign one of them, burn the other ones. If you get my, each one would have different errors. If you get my drift, then she'd come to my office, sign one of them, and never let anyone know which one. She'd burn the rest of them. Matter of fact, just today, Miss Kitty updated her will, and I put the sealed copy in my safe. No one knows what she inherits until the final will is read.
Why would she do that?
Well, too many pages here. I'm sure it's to keep everyone guessing. There's a lot of people in this town that when she died, they'd either get a little something or that their debts would disappear. Since she didn't have any kin, people naturally hoped that she would favor them when she finally gave up running this town.
Well, were any of them anxious enough, in your opinion, to hurry her demise, so to speak?
It's odd, just about everybody in this room.
Like who?
Well, obviously Doc, and then of course there's Miss There's Sam. Most of her wills I wrote left the long branch to Sam. I'm sure she knew about that, didn't you, Sam?
Well, I guess. She always said if she died before I did, this balloon would be mine, but days I swept up and ran errands. When old Sam died, I became her new Sam. She's taken care of me in good times and bad times. I've never lived anywhere but in that room behind there. Why would I want to hurt her?
Might have something to do. Pass on my drink. Might have something to do with the fact you've been mooning about with the Malone boy. I imagine he wouldn't be crazy about living in a room behind the bar, now would he?
I don't care what he thinks. I'm not willing to go on living behind the bar. Miss Kitty liked to think she was a modern woman, and she was, but she was real happy letting the rest of us be second-class
Well,
citizens.
what do you expect? You want to vote? Maybe run for mayor? Did you get tired of waiting?
No, she was afraid Miss Kitty was going to fire her for drinking more beer than she served her customers.
Oh, that's ridiculous. If anyone wanted to hurry her along for the inheritance, it would be Molly. She's the one who tries to talk Miss Kitty into changing the Long Branch into some fancy-dancy gastropub. She wants electric lights and even a telephone. Can you imagine? She's always saying when Kitty retires, she's going to bring the Long Branch into the 20th century.
Don't pick on Molly. She could never harm Miss Kitty. None of us girls could.
Wait,
Oh, sorry.
Festus is
Oh, sorry. Is that so? Molly, now what do you have to say for yourself?
Are you accusing me? Me? Why, Miss Kitty has been like a sister to me, much older sister. We were always so close. I would never, we disagreed about some things, but I always knew that I would get the chance to make the Long Branch into a respectable establishment. I've just been content to bide my time. She wasn't going to live forever, I knew. But now that she's gone, I'm just devastated, truly devastated. Why would you suspect little old me?
No.
Shouldn't that line come in now?
Yes, yes.
I didn't have that whole speech.
You're okay. It's because it's my fault. I was filling in for Festus and it slipped up on me. I was like, oh, I'm Festus too.
So now
sorry.
when I say.
Yep, that'll be it.
Okay. Don't pick on Molly. She could never harm Miss Kitty. None of us girls could.
Even those of you who were planning to leave, I hear you set up a little side business, hoping to raise enough for train fare to San Francisco.
Who told you that?
Miss Kitty. There wasn't much she didn't know. She was going to talk to you about it. Did she threaten to fire you? Is that why you killed her?
I'm shocked that you would even think that. After all the evenings you and I have spent together.
I suppose you even suspect me too, don't you? Although I cannot imagine why.
Maybe because of that secret time you spent in Wichita. Were you afraid she'd finally tell us all about that baby you had?
You don't know what you're talking about. I went out of town because I got beaten up by a worthless drifter, and I was embarrassed and ashamed, and Miss Kitty helped me out.
Was that the drifter that Marshall Mack found dead the day after you left? The one who had your picture in his pocket? He always figured you killed him, but he figured good riddance to any man who would treat a lady that way.
I don't want to talk about it. All I have to say is that Miss Kitty was always really good to me, and she helped me out when I needed help. What's next?
So why should I?
I
Oh, sorry.
You got a little one.
blah, 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 blah.
So why would I want to do
So
her?
why would I want to do her harm?
You
I
should-
had this memorized so well.
You're doing so well, and it's
Why would-
okay. We still got we got
We
another
got
verse.
another week.
You should look at those.
I know
among-
the rest.
I'm out, you got it.
Why would
Take
I
it.
do her harm? You need to look at some of these other people around here who would really like to have her out of the way. Jenkins over there. I heard Miss Kitty talking to the U.S. Marshal. She had him coming here the first of the month because she knows he's skimming money from the bank.
Is that so, Roger? She didn't say nothing to me about that. What's he talking about?
Well, I never.
Are you gonna listen to that woman? That woman that's a dance hall woman? My goodness, my husband is a respectable, upstanding citizen who would hurt, he would never hurt Miss Kitty. I never.
Now, calm down, Eloise. She knows nothing. That old Miss Kitty
She's having hysterics.
knew nothing. How can I run a bank?
Quick, get a drink.
Or a drink, yeah.
And how I run the bank was no business of hers. I'm a respectable businessman. I always have been. Bank has prospered along with the town. And I've always been grateful for Miss Kitty's business. But
Cut the bullshit, Roger. She owns the bank and let you pretend to be the big shot, just like me. I imagine that you were supposed to split the profits 50-50, just like the rest of us. What happened? Did you decide to give her 40% and keep 40% for yourself and then 20% for that private account of yours?
Oh my goodness! Oh, I can't believe this! What is happening, Roger? I don't understand this. This is out of the question. I don't know what's happened here. My goodness. Oh, but Roger is the owner and sole proprietor of the bank.
well, not quite. I was only a teller when Dodge City collapsed back in the day. But Miss Kitty, she did make me president and let people think I was in charge. I mean, who in their right mind would trust money to a saloon keeper, let alone a woman saloon keeper? But I've been in the process of buying her out for several years now. We had a little disagreement about the monthly service fee and the bookkeeping. I'm sure we would have worked that out. That meeting with the U.S. attorney, no big deal. It was just a formality. I wasn't worried in the slightest, nor was Eloise. Right?
This is the first time.
Now, what about you, Elmer? Is it true that you don't own the Emporium? I always thought
You
did.
It used to be true, but no longer. Elmer and I bought out Miss Kitty several years ago. We own the store free and clear. Just ask Mr. Faraway. I'm sure he has a copy of the deed of sale in his office.
Indeed I do. And what a very clever forgery it was, too. Miss Martha, too bad you didn't know Miss Kitty's legal name. You guessed Kathleen, which is a fairly common. But Kitty was actually born to be a kitty. We had a couple good laughs over your attempt to fool us.
Oh, Martha, I'm shocked that you'd do that. Is that why your plum jam had such a bitter almond odor?
Oh.
But if I had known, I would have talked to Kitty and apologized. Not poisoned her. She's been a good employer all these years. I was gonna buy her out, but this is just awful.
That it is. So what about you, Elmira?
Do you have the same deal as your dad?
Yeah, but just last week I had a talk with Miss Kitty because I wanted to expand, and I told her I was going to start a tea business for the ladies, and she said that we would talk about it, but I need a loan, you know, because I don't have enough money for that. But she said not to worry, that when she died, I would own it free and clear, and then I could do whatever I wanted. She said, just be patient.
But you couldn't wait, could
Oh,
you?
oh, me?
Did
No, I
you
never
spike
went
those
through.
peanuts you bought her?
No, I can see why you might think that, but we were friends, Miss Kitty and I. Well, besides, there are lots of others here who have the same deal with Miss Kitty. John Martin, for example, didn't she tell you that you'd have your land free and clear when she died?
Well, yeah, but it was different for me. I'm farming my daddy's land. It's mine by rights. It's my hard work that has been making money for both of us all these years. But I knew I'd get it back when the time came. Sometimes it grates on me being foreman of a bunch of tenant farmers. But I appreciate the trust she had in me.
Is that why you always act like you're the landowner? People say you enjoy collecting the rent every month a little more than is seemly.
Oh, that's ridiculous. It's true, I do all the work, take all the grousing that comes from the other farmers. But I appreciate the paycheck that came every week. Mabel here and I, we have a nice house and a good life. Ask Mabel, did I bring a poison bottle of booze tonight?
Oh, what a question. It's pretty obvious to me that Miss Kitty died at the hand of someone who really hated her. And I can't think of anyone who hated her more than Preacher Nelson. Unless it's that mean-spirited wife of his, Anne Marie. Yes.
Yeah.
The
Turn
Lord
the other
does not
cheeks.
take kindly to those who spread false witness against their neighbors. Not at all. Whatever makes you think that I could raise a hand against the beleaguered party. It's true, I counseled her often about her wicked ways and reprimanded her about usurping the role of God. Usurping the role of godly men.
Yeah.
Got it, in this town. But a man of God always lives in the hope that his sinner will be saved.
Well, I just want you to know that my husband has been the model of patience. Every week he tried bringing the word of God to this land that God forsook. I am so ashamed to look around and see all these people who came to honor that woman. People who never bothered to come to church to honor the preacher and his Lord, of course. What a sad situation this is.
And why, madam, did you come tonight? To honor Miss Kitty?
Oh, of course not. But it was my Christian duty to bring her a piece of my boysenberry pie.
Okay.
Oh.
Which one is it? Boysenberry or boysenberry?
You pick it.
Maybe I will.
You will not speak to my good wife that way. You should be questioning these strangers. The man who claims to be her brother and that smoothie wife of his.
That's a good idea. Mr. Russell, Mrs. Russell, why don't y'all come on up here?
You can imagine that I killed my sister?
Oh, yeah, if we kind of flank our reporting.
Yeah.
I think your statement case to her and to Ben, just so
Yeah.
we can all be seen. Yeah. That's great.
I didn't see you.
No, you're good. Oh, she's very sneaky.
Give me the line.
Oh, so, that's a good, and I'll come and tie with her here. That's a good idea, Mr. Russell, Mrs. Russell, why don't y'all come on up here? And there they are.
You accusing me of killing my sister? I just came here just to get to know her.
After all these years?
Well, after all these years, if you remember, I missed my Aunt Tilly, when she picked me up at the railroad station, we didn't have nothing. We were living in back of Mr. Donovan's house back there for years, and finally, I was working the shrimp boats down in Shreveport. I was working the shrimp boat down in
Shrimp boats, where's the shrimp boats?
There are no shrimp boats in Shreveport.
All I'm doing is working the shrimp boats down in Shreveport, trying to make a living. I went down to the Donovan's saloon to get me a cool one. Okay. And that's why I met the little lady here. My wife Dolly. I was sitting there, she about halfway up that pole, you know, and I was just we just felt like that night we got to know each other. We did a lot of dancing with that night too.
That's right.
And then we went to St. Louis.
Of course.
And I got to working 2 jobs and just trying to make a living and everything else. And one of the newspaper routes that I had this article in it that this woman here was going to come out and interview some famous Kitty Russell. And I went home and I said, Dolly, I think that's my sister. We need to get out there to St. Louis to go to that party. And I just came out here just to get to know her.
And maybe to get back what you think she cheated you of?
Well, I was hoping to get some of my inheritance reinstated, but I never even had a chance to talk to her to even convince her of my claim.
Did you have a chance to show her that paper you got from the judge?
Paper? What paper? What judge?
The judge in New Orleans. The one that said that since Matt's daddy died in New Orleans when French law, the Napoleonic Code, I think they called it, was in effect, Miss Kitty could not inherit anything since there was a living male heir. Everything she owns actually belongs to him. Isn't that great?
Is that true, Angus? I can assure you of one thing. I would have advised Miss Kitty to challenge that, and I would have helped her every step of the way.
Yeah, well, she ain't gonna challenge anything now because she all dead.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a real mess on our hands here. Now, I have to get over to Western Union and file my story because my newspaper's expecting it. But I don't know how to bring it to the end. Who killed Kitty Russell? What do you think? Well, I'll tell you what, you have a ballot right there in front of you in your program. Mark your ballots. We'll collect them, and you will decide right after dessert. Or something.